And the day when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam blessed this earth with his presence is a day which is the day of Nur, the day of illumination for this earth. And as it is said for the Sayyidina Yahya alayhi salam in Quran Surah Al-Maryam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded, وَالسَّلَامٌ عَلَيْهِ يَوْمَ وُلِدَ وَيَوْمَ يَمُوتُ وَيَوْمَ يُبْعَثُ حَيًّا. And peace be upon Yahya alayhi salam, or the Prophet John. Peace be upon him the day he was born, and the day he dies, and the day is raised alive. So it is for Sayyidina Yahya alayhi salam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sending salam, sending peace on the day when Prophet Yahya alayhi salam was born. And in the same Surah Al-Maryam, in the verse 33, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded for the Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, that Isa alayhi salam said, وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيْكَ يَوْمَ وُلِدْتُ وَيَوْمَ أَمُوتُ وَيَوْمَ أُبْعَثُ حَيًّا. And peace is on me the day I was born, and the day I will die, and the day I am raised alive. So this is for the Prophet Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam. So Quran sends salams and peace on the day when Prophet Yahya alayhi salam was born, and on the day when Prophet Isa alayhi salam was born. So my brothers and elders, that's why the day is blessed when Yahya was born alayhi salam, and the day is blessed when Isa alayhi salam was born, and the day is blessed when Sayyidul Anbiya, Imamul Anbiya, Khatamul Anbiya, Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was born. So the Mawlid of Prophets is celebrated in Quran. So the Mawlid of Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the day of Mawlid and the day of birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is blessed day for us, and is the day when Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was born was Monday, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to fast on the day of Monday. And it is narrated in Sahih Muslim, in Kitab al-Sayyam, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was asked, Anna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam su'ila an sawm al-ithnain. He was asked about the fasting of every Monday. Somebody asked, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we observe that you are doing fasting on every Monday. What is the reason behind? And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam replied, فَقَالَ فِيهِ وُلِدْتُ وَفِيهِ أُنزِلَ عَلَيْكَ. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam replied that I fast on the Monday because this is the day when I was born. And this is the day when revelation wahi was revealed to me. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in one way or other, because of the shukr of his birth, he was fasting on the day of Monday. So my brothers, my elders and my sisters, the day when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was born is the day of shukr, and is the blessed day when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam started his life on this planet, and after 40 years, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam received a revelation, and he started that da'wah, he started that mission, and he started invitation to the universe, to the mankind, that come to the way of Allah. فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. Come to the way of Allah. And you know what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did during his 23 years time of his risalah or nubuwwah. As Quran introduces us with some of the attributes of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Inna arsalnaka shahidan wa mubashiran wa nadhiran wa da'iyan ila Allah bi-idhnihi wa sirajan munira. O our beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we sent you with the attribute of being shahid, your witness, wa bashiran. You gave good news to the ones who are doing good deeds, and those who have faith in Allah, and those who have faith in Akhirah, and those who have faith in revelation, and those who have faith in angels, and those who have faith in prophets before you. And Nadiran. And you also guide people that if you will not obey the right path, you will face adab, you will face punishment in akhirah, in hereafter. And then, وَدَاعِيًا إِلَى اللَّهِ. O my beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you invite people towards the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And my brothers and elders, in relevance of today's sermon, I would like to mention about two cities. Those are, you can say, the representatives or the reflection of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's missionary miracles. We often talk about many of the ghazawat, like Badr or Uhud or Khaybar, or about other ghazawats. And we often talk about the cities and the countries, those were conquered during the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and even after the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But today we need to remember about two missionary miracles of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The miracles of da'wah, the miracles of the attribute of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, da'iyan ila Allah, and the beautiful way Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself was doing da'wah, and the beautiful way the companions, those who were trained by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they did da'wah. One was Habsha and the other was Medina. When it comes to Habsha, before any formal military or before formation of any formal Muslim state, people of Habsha accepted Islam and converted into Islam because of the invitation which was sent by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and because of the that book which was revealed to Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Al-Quran Al-Hakim. And the second city is Medina. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent Mus'ab ibn Umair radiyallahu anhu to Medina to educate people about Deen al-Islam and about Quran. And Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stated, as it is narrated by mother of the believers, Sayyida Aisha as-Siddiqa radiyallahu anha, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Futihat al-Madain bis-sayf, wa futihat al-Madinatu bil-Quran." Many cities were conquered with sayf, with sword. But وَفُتِحَتِ الْمَدِينَةُ بِالْقُرْآنِ, but Medina was conquered with Quran. Because Mus'ab ibn Umair radiyallahu ta'ala anhu was educating people with the Quran. And if you remember the story of Usayd ibn Hudayr and Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, and Usayd ibn Hudayr was sent by Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, who was cousin of the Sa'd ibn Zirara radiyallahu anhu, to stop Mus'ab ibn Umair doing da'wah in Medina. And Usayd went with his sword to stop Mus'ab, to stop Mus'ab doing that da'wah. And he went there to kill him, to stop him forcefully. But when Usayd went there, Mus'ab ibn Umair radiyallahu anhu said, "Just listen few of my words. And if you consider them wrong, I will stop doing so. But if you consider them right, you have to accept them." And he said, "Okay, it's a good deal. I will listen what you say." And Mus'ab ibn Umair radiyallahu anhu recited few verses from Quran. And it was the influence of Quran, the nur of Quran, the nur of ayah, the nur of revelation, which touched upon the heart of Usayd ibn Hudayr radiyallahu anhu. And when he went back to Sa'd ibn Mu'adh looked upon him from little far and he said, "The man is changed. He is not the same which I said to Mus'ab to stop him forcefully." So that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Futihat al-Madain bis-sayf, وَفُتِحَتِ الْمَدِينَةُ بِالْقُرْآنِ." So today, when we are remembering the way of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the birth of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and when we are celebrating the Mawlid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there is no better way to celebrate the Mawlid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam than the following of Sunnah of Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The following Sunnah of Rasulullah and following the way of Quran is the best way to celebrate the Mawlid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As it is said, it is commanded in Quran, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ. O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell the people that if you want to become the beloved in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَاتَّبِعُونِي, you need to follow my path. You need to do ittaba'. فَاتَّبِعُونِي, follow my path. يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ, Allah will make you among them. Those are beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My brothers and elders, my sisters, if you want to become the beloved of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what you need to do? You need to start following the sunnah. You need to start following the way of Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And what Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam did, if you make a summary of the life of Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And if somebody ask me that, what is the best word to describe the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, especially after the first revelation, I would say, da'wat ila Allah. The way Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam spent his life was all the time inviting people to way of Allah and preparing them for the day of judgment and preparing them for the time when they will no longer living in this world, but they will be living through their words, through their deeds, through their contributions, through their way of life, through the way they behave with people. That will be remembered. So that's why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam faced a lot of challenges because he wanted to change the behavior of the people, behavior of the society, and all the injustice which was very common in that society. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam went everywhere, invited every single person, whether in the eyes of that Arab aristocrats, whether those people were important or not, whether they were slaves, whether they were considered half humans by the aristocrat Arab society. But Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave them importance and invited them as well and shared his feast with them. And just allow me one thing to share with you from my source of inspiration, which inspired me a lot towards Quran, which inspired me a lot to read about Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, was our national poet of Pakistan, Muhammad Iqbal. And if you go through his book written in Persian language, Javed Nama, Iqbal inspires you a lot, and he says that a day Abu Jahl was sitting on the stairs of the Kaaba. That is a dramatic kind of story in Javed Nama, and he says that Iqbal flies with the Rumi on different planets and in the heavens, and he used to see a lot of things, lot of events of the history, and he used to meet with, he met with many of the previous kings and emperors and Sufis and many other scholars in the heavens, and even some bad people. So he experiences and he shares through his poetic way, and he says that I saw Abu Jahl during the lifetime of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was sitting on the stairs of Kaaba, and he was addressing to Lat and Monat and to Hubal and Uzza, and saying them that what kind of religion is emerging in your village, is emerging next to Kaaba, is emerging near the Kaaba. قدر أحرار عربنا شناختا بعد کلفتا نے حبشتر ساختا. Abu Jahl says about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that قدر أحرار عربنا شناختا. He never respected the aristocrats of Arab, although he is also part of that noble family. But Bab Kuliftan Habush dar Safta, rather he is making friendship with the slaves from Abyssinia. And then he says that today what I am seeing, that the grandson of Hashim is sharing his feast with his slaves. Those who are bought with their humanity. So my brothers and sisters, people, those who are given less attention in the society, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave them the importance. And it is narrated when Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu anhu and when Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhu and many other Sahaba from noble families and from noble lineage, when they used to call upon Sayyidina Bilal Habashi radiyallahu anhu, they used to call Al-Bilal who was Sayyiduna. And even in today's Britain, it is not hard to say, but in those kind of Arabia, it was not a common culture to give this importance to the slaves. And this was a change which was brought by Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And before I end, I want to make my last point, and that is to remember one thing, that today we give lot of importance and lot of attention to our monuments, to our historical sites, to our historical buildings, to our many of the historical forts and historical mosques. My dear Muslim brothers and elders, my sisters, do remember one thing. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not build any monument during his lifetime. The monument, which cannot be called a monument, but for understanding, was built by Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, and it was renovated or rebuilt after that many times, and that was Kaaba. And Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam built a small mosque in Medina, which is called Masjid an-Nabawi al-Sharif. And even the building which was built by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was demolished during the expansion of the mosque in the time of Sayyidi Umar radiyallahu ta'ala. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not build any monument, any fortress or any building or any minaret as a symbol of his life or as a symbol of his contributions or how to remember Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But what he built, he protected the last book. And the second thing, he built characters among his followers. He did not give you any huge building, but he gave you Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu anhu. He did not build any fortress over there, but he built Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhu. He did not build any monument of generosity, that how to celebrate generosity. Here is a hand built with that fancy and with that very complicated architectural way, or this stone or this mountain or this hill is converted into that kind of monument. He did not build that kind of monument to promote generosity. Rather, he gave you the character of Uthman ibn Affan radiyallahu anhu. He did not build any huge campus or any symbolic, majestic building for the knowledge, where you will go and you will stand there and you will take a selfie. No. He didn't build that kind of monument, but he built the character of Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu. So what today we need is to do more focus on the way of Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that is the way of developing characters, building morality, building excellence in the character. If we can build characters, then maybe even our small monuments will be respected in the history. But if we can't build characters, if we can't build those kind of examples, if we can't develop that kind of excellence, then do remember our monuments, our buildings, our symbols have no worth in the history, will not be respected by the people coming after us. My brothers and sisters, this reminds us the way of Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The rulers came after him, those were trained by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You cannot find best examples among the rulers like them. The ambassadors Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam produced. You cannot find best ambassadors than those. And the level of adl, level of justice, sense of justice, which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave them. And even in every field of life, people, those were produced by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, those were given trainings under the supervision of Rasulullah, in the suhbah, in the ma'iyya of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, were the best examples of their time, and they have been the best example for all the times. For us, after 1400 years, and even for the maybe next many centuries after us. So if I conclude all my points, I would like to say that the celebration of Mawlid sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is something very blessed, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent salams in Quran on the day when Prophet Yahya was born alayhi salam, and when Prophet Isa alayhi salam was born. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to fast on every Monday, and it is narrated in Sahih Muslim that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was asked, why you fast on Monday? And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam replied, because I was born on that day and revelation was revealed to me on that day. And the second thing is, the best way to celebrate the Mawlid is in a respectful way, but the best way is to celebrate Mawlid is by following Sunnah and by following the book which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam protected and his companions protected. And the protection of that book is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the best way is to do da'wah. Da'iyan ila Allah. Today what we need is inviting people towards the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if we will follow that way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make us among the people, those are beloved in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the last thing we need to remember about da'wah is reading and teaching and understanding and following the way of Quran. As it is said about Madinatul Munawwara, that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that other cities and countries are conquered with Saif, but Medina was conquered with Quran. So that is the best example of the missionary miracles of Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And the last thing is focusing on our characters according to Quran and Sunnah and according to Kitab. As I said and argued that Prophet ﷺ did not build a monument. Rather, he gave you some living examples through the characters of his companions, like Khulafa al-Rashidin al-Mahdiyyin Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in, and other companions, those who were trained under the supervision of Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And my brothers, elders and sisters, before I end, I just want to make one apology that in the country where I live, I speak English as my fourth language. Of course, first is Punjabi, second is Urdu, third is silence, and fourth is English. So if I made any grammatical mistake and if you find any confusion among any translation or any wrong sentence, you can ask me any question after the Jumma prayer and we can discuss it. But what I wanted to say was about our today's responsibility as a Muslim. And before I end, I just want to say that during this blessed month of Rabiul Awwal, we need to recite more salawat on Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And what we need to do is to, if you have some good books about Sirat of Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you can gift those books to your neighbors, and before giving to your neighbors or before giving to your children or your friends, of course we need to read ourselves, So that is very important, and that is the best way to show your respect, show your love for Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And also we have to organize gatherings to invite people to discuss about the seerah and about the love and about the message of Sayyidi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala an-nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin wa ashabi Muhammadin wa azwaji Muhammadin wa barik wa sallim. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alamin.